What's going on YouTube? Crypto Matrix here, coming at you another cryptocurrency stream. And guys, just like I said it would, man, we had this breakout right out of this symmetrical triangle here. And guys, we got all the indications prior to the break, just an excellent little move. Could have been taken just at the indication play, all the way up sitting at 5.67 right now. If you even use 10x, that's over 50%, guys. Congratulations to whoever make that trade. And guys, as you can see, we clearly had a nice bounce off the trend right there. Just a really good sign, guys. But I want to show you exactly what I found in the price action, which could yield a new potential pattern here, which you guys could make some excellent profits on your favorite exchange. And guys, I had a few other alts I wanted to talk about, including Electroneum and AMP. Guys, these are some pretty wild times in cryptocurrency. And I wanted to talk about the Wyckoff pattern. It's definitely a possibility that could be playing out over the next few weeks, guys. What's really interesting is it just has relevance to my major points of resistance and support, which is the $42,000 level and the 28.7, which we've already gotten a perfect bounce off, guys. If you're not subscribed yet, definitely smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. Guys, I'm going to dive right into the price action. And don't forget about all of my giveaways. And if you're interested in becoming a student, head right over to the website and join the student program. Okay, guys, so let's just start over here for right now. So in simplicity, we had a lot of patterns within patterns right here. So let's just talk about those really quickly. Okay, and we're just going to actually jump from right here. Okay, I'm going to make these a nice white. Okay. Go. Okay. So a nice little ascending triangle there. Now it's interesting because you could have obviously measured it like this too, and you would have just an ascending tightening wedge. Both would have yielded the same target projection, basically hitting around the same targets there, guys. So for instance, say like you just measured from the back, say like you measured even to right here. Notice both these targets do end up getting hit right here. Okay, and if you measure to right there, both targets do get hit. Okay, this one's a little higher. You guys get the idea there. A nice little target projection. Let's talk about the even smaller patterns right here. Now, this one's pretty interesting because it actually was a wedge up and then a wedge down. A nice little tiny chain, guys. Remember what I said about chaining? There are little opportunities for leverage up and down. So for instance, just an ascending wedge right into a chain descending wedge right through the price action. Okay, just like that. And then we had a pump up. For instance, we pull up our volume. Where is my volume? There it is. And you can see clearly we had that rise, down, rise, down, rise, down. So another move should be coming very shortly, guys, just in simplicity, even just on the volume reading indication. Okay, get ready to make that trade. We could have a few things playing out right now. For instance, if this retraces lower, we could form the wedge. But right now, it does look like we are forming an ascending. Okay, but we have to wait and let this develop a little bit more. We're gonna have to adjust these lines a little bit, and that will give you an accurate representation of where we're going in the immediate, and then play your indications in combination, for instance, with your patterns within patterns to make that entry a reality. Okay, but let's zoom out to another chart, and I wanted to talk about the bigger patterns as well as the Wyckoff distribution pattern. Okay, guys, before we get into the Wyckoff distribution pattern, let's just talk about the pattern that I see, which is just really jumping out at me right now. And there's actually two of them which are pretty solid right here, so let's just talk about them. So we could have another symmetrical triangle. Okay, I'm gonna have to adjust that a little, probably ends like right here. And then right through like this. You guys, a perfect symmetrical. Okay, so that's definitely one pattern that is a strong potential right now. The only other one that's really jumping out at me, and guys, let's just be real here, it's pretty dirty, so I don't know if I'm gonna factor it really. But we could have, you know, a descending broadening wedge as well. Okay, and what's really interesting is the symmetrical could break either way. If we get a descending wedge, yeah, we could end up breaking down, working down, testing supports, but then get a bounce up. In simplicity, with the Wyckoff distribution pattern, phase C is a rising up. And what's really interesting, if we actually rise like it's supposed to, we would actually be retesting around $42,000 and change. Now, guys, we've talked about it as the major resistance zone that we need to get out of to almost confirm higher times. But guys, just in simplicity, how I want you guys to tackle this pattern is if we break the resistances in the price action, I want you guys to put in a long and then set your stop loss at the previous retracement. And if we end up breaking down and retesting supports, if we break the support, you guys put in a short and then play it at the previous top right before, like the retracement to the upside prior to the breakout to the downside. Okay, guys? You could ride it up to newer resistances, which is all the way up here, or you could ride it down to even the retest of minimally 31, okay? But then there's another major support down here, and then the bottom of this other pattern, guys. And that's exactly how I'd be playing that. But let's just talk about the Wyckoff pattern for a second, okay? So for starts, Richard DeMille Wyckoff, okay? He started this up in, he was born in 1873, actually. So just for the reference, guys, this is a very old style of pattern analysis, okay? And he wrote and edited the magazine of Wall Street, and it had, 200,000 subscribers. I mean, this guy had a big following for a time where things like subscribers and followers weren't really there yet, guys. So let's be real, he's definitely gotten a lot of attention here. The guy knew his stuff. So what's interesting is I have learned to take a new strategy to analyze the crypto market instead of just traditional stock analysis. But so far, the Wyckoff pattern is playing out properly, guys. Wyckoff method is basically a 5-step method of market analysis for decision making. So determining the present position and probable future of the market. So basically, when you see phase A actually playing out properly, which is what is causing the market to have that proportional effect, and then you're going to have accumulation and distribution phases. Okay, so in this little phase right here, remember I was actually talking about a different kind of pattern here. I was talking about the runoff or the scallop, okay, in which case we would be in a mini accumulation phase right now. And that's what's really nice. Phase A and B also prove that as well, guys. And that's why I've been accumulating so heavily over the last few months. I'm waiting for this massive run up. And yes, guys, we could end up breaking supports, and in which case I would just be buying more coin. There is not a doubt in my mind that we will surpass $64,000 within the next 2 years. There's not a doubt in my mind. Make sure you're playing your phases, your cycles, and your patterns within patterns in combination with indications, specifically even with volume, to make entries and make these trades a reality, guys. But watch for the Wyckoff to actually play out properly here. If it does, we could easily end up, right around here, retesting that major resistance, guys. But one thing I really do want you guys to watch for in the short term and the long term is one thing specifically. Watch for higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, okay? Higher highs. Higher highs, are we going to put in a higher high right here? Okay, guys, that's exactly what we need to see. Watch for that on the shorter time frames. And guys, remember what I said, when in doubt, zoom out. So go to the daily for a minute. But what I really want you guys to see here is I'm going to turn everything off, but just check it out. We aren't putting in higher lows. We're still downtrending, guys. So remember, on the bigger time frames, we are still downtrending. We need to have a flipping of these major resistance and supports before we're out of the woods, guys. So yes, we are getting a little bit of short-term bullishness right now, guys, but understand, just in simplicity, we are still moving down, okay? We have to get out of the woods before we can think to get some hype going, guys. That's exactly what I'm looking at in the Bitcoin price. Let's talk about Electroneum. Okay, guys, so let's just start on the bigger time frames here. We got a good bounce off the last line of defense, guys. I couldn't be happier with that. That is epic. And just like I said about Bitcoin, we need to have that flipping of the resistances. Let's just get back up to the 55 for starts, but even retesting the 20 right now, which is a very good sign. Let's go down to the smaller time frames. And guys, lots of crossings, lots of patterns within patterns, guys. But remember, this was the last pattern that I showed you guys about, a nice ascending wedge. And look, we had the indication play right out of it right prior. You guys are going to see I use the EMAs a lot. They work so well, even in combination with other indications. And just for transparency, guys, I use my EMAs and then I combine a litany of all these other indications to make the trade confirmations. But even with just the EMAs alone, if you really understand what you're looking at, my gosh, you can even make those entries right there. So a nice trifecta right there. Easy short down to the downside, and then a trifecta right back up. You could have wrote this both ways, guys. This is a very clear chain here, okay? Play those chains, okay, guys? Chaining is amazing, especially if we can form actual letters, okay? I mean, the more you can form the chain, the stronger the longing and shorting opportunities are, guys. And when applying any bit of leverage, board-wide, coin-wide, my gosh, the extrapolated gains are incredible. Just make sure to set your stop losses so that you don't end up with extrapolated losses. Okay, guys? So with Electroneum here, what we really need to see is just consistent higher lows. Putting in higher low, putting in higher low. And yes, guys, we will get retracements along the way. But understand, as Bitcoin recovers here, so will the altcoin market, guys. And that's exactly what I'm anticipating. And guys, we just need to get way back up here. We have a lot of work to do. Okay, we got to get way back up here and think to just break this plane here, guys. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm looking at for Electroneum. Let's talk about AMP real quick. And my gosh, guys, a breakout is just about to explode with AMP. Look at this. Look at how tight this is getting. How often do you see something like this, guys? You just don't. This is incredible. This breakout is about to happen, guys. Get your bags ready on AMP. This is going to be a big one. In simplicity, guys, play your indications in combination with your volume to make your entry. But what I want you guys to really understand is that if we break resistance, you go long. If we break support, you go short. There's not a doubt in my mind this will yield a good potential profit. Either way it breaks, guys. And just for transparency, the way it is looking right now is slightly bullish, okay? The reason for that is we are above the EMAs right now, which means that if we hold the 200, for instance, hold the 100, you know, just continuously start to push up, we will retest the resistance. You can get your indication play right here, make that a reality for yourself, guys. And that's what I'm looking at in AMP. And my gosh, guys, when the crypto market recovers and AMP starts to get a little bit of hype here, oh my gosh, we're easily going to be breaking, you know, much higher AMP prices, guys. I don't want to give a specific number because we really got to see that Bitcoin start to move before we can really predict that price action there, guys. But it could easily be double what we are now, much higher than 12 cents, for instance, guys. So that's exactly what I'm looking at in AMP. And guys, that's all the time I have for today. These are wild times in cryptocurrency. And guys, just a heads up, we're about to be doing the giveaway for the Crypto Matrix student program. I have it at 50 students right now, so we're basically at the halfway mark at Zion, just under, I'd say about 8 more students before we're at the halfway mark. And guys, just for transparency, I can only do 25 students a month. That leaves me a full schedule, weekends full, and guys, we're already at 40 some. So I want you guys to really hear that. You are running out of time in some senses if you want to join Zion, okay? It is something I cannot express. You must actually just experience it to understand. And guys, just for transparency, when you're learning from a professional like myself, it makes this a reality, okay? You're not gonna get it in a group setting. You can roll the dice if you want to, guys, but I am very proud to report almost 100% success rate. To my knowledge, no one has, for instance, gone negative or lost money. And to my knowledge, that would be 100% in my book, guys. So it doesn't get any better than that. And guys, if you really want to discover financial freedom, this is exactly how you do it. And for those of you guys who can't actually, you know, afford the one-on-one teaching, I do have a downloadable course right now, which is part 1 of many, to be honest. There should probably be about 5 parts to it, and each of them going over different specific things. Part 1 of the downloadable course is specifically the major patterns that you'll run into in the active crypto market today. And guys, it is a very nice Word document that you guys can download and will help you with your pattern analysis to make those entries a reality for yourself. Guys, if you can't afford to be a student, there you go. A lot of people always ask me, you know, can we get cheaper prices? Can we get discounts here? Guys, here it is. Go for it. I've been very thorough here. All you have to do is send your payment and then reach out to us in the course segment request, and then we'll send you your course material. And guys, same thing with the instruction. Once you do your instruction, just send transaction ID so we can match you up quickly, guys. And my gosh, guys, this is something you really want to do. I'm not going to keep preaching it, guys. It's just something you have to experience. Remember, if you don't come from a rich family must come from you. I am Crypto Matrix. I'll catch you guys later.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.